Hi, I'm really excited tonight. I really want to talk about the life-changing dog in my life. There was this Boston Terrier that I got when I was 21 years old, a young woman on my own, and he became my everything. I named him Wally. It just seemed like a kind of goofy name for a kind of goofy looking dog, and I say that loosely because I really do believe that Boston Terriers are absolutely regal and beautiful beings, and they're not only the first American breed, but they are strictly a companion dog. They are just such personalities. They're like having a best friend in a fur coat. And they're almost like having a big dog in a small body. I mean, I can't say enough good things about the breed, but this particular dog just did everything with me. He attracted crowds wherever we went. Like, he played soccer with a plastic grocery store lightweight ball. He skimboarded with me. He rode motorcycles. He rock climbed. Later in life, he literally flew in an airplane under our airline seats to Virginia, rode a train in Durban, West Virginia. He was my child. He was my child until he was the age of 8, and I met David Bartley. And shortly after that happened, we had a very unfortunate event. A roommate had fed Wally pork bones, and it basically caused a blockage in his digestive tract, and I wasn't sure whether I could afford the surgery. And David Woody Bartley said, "Look, this is your best friend. It doesn't matter what it costs." So yeah, close to $3,000 later, I knew he had made the right choice. And at that point, it feels like Wally became Woody's dog. He was now our dog, but the bond that happened between Wally and Woody was profound. So for 4 years, Wally had both Woody and I always spoiled Wally. But Woody took it to the next level. He was committed to the walks twice a day, and if it was hot outside, we got a cool towel down. Like, I thought Wally had it good, but he met Woody and his life got great. Honored, treasured, beloved Boston Terrier being. When Wally was 12, he started to suffer from congestive heart failure. And it was probably because as a young woman, I wasn't feeding him the best things all the time. He was on the road with me. If I went to Taco Bell, he got a taco and a cup. I mean, he lived a good life. This was a great life for a dog. He was not forgotten. But we were struggling with just the thought that, you know, we were going to lose our best friend, the center of my world for sure. And we literally took him to UC Davis, best of care. They had him in an oxygen tent and were giving him as much as they could, and the blood oxygen saturation just wasn't coming up. So we had decided to leave him at Davis for the night while we prepared ourselves to go the next day and euthanize him. And I picked up one of those new agey magazines. Like, I'm searching for answers. And this was the first time I ever called an animal communicator. I just found an ad, called someone out of the blue, and the message that came back was that Wally had really been ready to go for a while, but he was sticking around because he just knew how much Woody and I loved him. But that his purpose in life was to teach us about reincarnation. And that's really all she said. But it gave me just this little glimmer of hope that, okay, I'll let him go, because this body is failing him. His vessel is just done. But that the soul might come back to us. So we had the euthanasia. It was just, like the worst week of our lives. Like, we're adjusting to losing. They say losing a pet is sometimes more difficult than losing a family member. And he was more like a child than anything. So At this point in time, David Woody Bartley was going to a non-denominational church, very open-minded, you could call it New Age, and he had been telling me about this friend of his, Gary, and I had yet to meet Gary. So I go to church the following week, and I'm in Fellowship Hall after the service, and there's Gary. I meet Gary, and Gary's first question is, how's Wally? And I said, Gary, we had to put him to sleep. And he immediately looked at me and said, get a puppy, he's coming back. Like, how could Gary have known this? Like, these are two back-to-back messages that Wally's not gone. Like, he's going to be around. So then it became our purpose to find the best possible Boston puppy to do this soul exchange with. And Gary was a ritual master. This was a really unique man who literally had gone to Japan to help heal the energy grids of the earth that were damaged during the bombing of Hiroshima. I mean, this is the guy that was doing stuff I couldn't even imagine. But he's like, oh, I'll help, we'll do the ceremony. So we did. And I literally have it on like a Super 8 tape. I really do need to have that converted so that I can share it with you. It was a full ceremony. We found the most amazing puppy to give Wally the best possible chance of a long, healthy life this next time around with us. Absolutely beautiful. We named her Hope for Wally. And did this little exchange with the ceremony, Wally's ashes, released, the puppy's current soul back to the universe to pick a new body, and brought Wally in. And while Hope was a female and Wally was a male, and she didn't have all of the character traits that Wally had. Wally did some very specific things. In fact, I had lost him once, and these people fell such in love with him. I had to like prove to them that he was my dog. I'm like, okay, grab a teddy bear. Wally always had a baby. Bostons are famous for nursing on things. They love to suck the edge of their bed, and Wally always had a teddy bear. But Wally was super particular with how he nursed his teddy bear. He would lay it down and then be on top of it and just suck its nose. He wouldn't suck its paw, and he always was laying down on top of it. So that is something that Hope did as well. She just nursed babies the same way Wally nursed babies. She never developed his love of balls, but we are convinced that Wally was reincarnated as Hope, and we were able to enjoy another, I think it was 7 years. She unfortunately disappeared. This was the most tragic. Imagine losing basically the same dog twice, but the second time there's no closure. It's a story I can get into at some point, if I can figure out how to tie in a spiritual message to it. But tonight's story is really just to open your mind that if somebody tells you something that just sounds out of this world, maybe there's something to it. Even if that first call to the animal communicator gave me peace of mind, and I would have just kind of looked for the universe to deliver Wally back to me, the second message from Gary saying, hey, he's coming and I can help you. Like, oh my gosh, like, why would I say no? Why would I not do that? Why would you not do that? So just know, it may sound crazy, but maybe it's not. What are the chances? I know Boston's nurse, but that she nursed babies the exact same way. Yeah. Truth can be stranger than fiction, and love is really strong. I do believe in reincarnation. We can talk about a book called Many Lives, Many Masters by Brian Weiss. There are so many, but this one's a good one, and we'll touch on it because I am convinced that reincarnation is real. And it didn't, well, Wally kind of solidified it for me, but there were more examples throughout our sanctuary experience and some of the people that I've been able to meet. So I'll wrap it up for now. I appreciate you letting me tell you the story of the reincarnation of Wally and more animal communication. I look forward to talking to you more next week.